taking a bit of persuasion. Down at the mile start once again for this race. Sandy Paradise is in. Ready. Gates back and they're off and racing. Adday and Holly Doyle a little bit slowly away as they make their way through the early stages of the Racing TV handicap over the mile. Always Fearless has come through to take it up. The dark jacket also prominent there is Sandy Paradise towards the outside. The favourite Asdar is just tracking the leader. On that one's outside the blue and white colours of Lordsbridge Girl. Interesting that Sandy Paradise seems to be ploughing a bit of a lone furrow towards the centre of the track over on the back straight. Then we have Bubesi, followed then by Come On John. Towards the rear of the field, River Wharf, also towards the back, Cuban Strike in the purple and green colours, and at the back of the field, the slow starting Adday. But the field is grouping up as they make their way towards the end of the back straight and start the turn, and it's Always Fearless that leads. To in second position, Sandy Paradise, who's floated now into second spot as they take the turn. They're then followed by Asdar, who's getting a lovely trail into this race in third, followed by Lordsbridge Girl, the blue and white colours in fourth, and the pink sleeves of Come On John, who's racing in fifth, then Bubesi round the outside, followed then by River Wharf, and then a bit of a gap back to the other two as they start to make the swing for home now. And the lead is still with Always Fearless. To in second position, Sandy Paradise, who's being now just driven along. Asdar's had a lovely run in transit, the purple and black colours as they come to the cutaway. They're then followed in fourth by Lordsbridge Girl, who's trying to stay on. Always Fearless, the leader. To Asdar, who's now being asked one or two questions by Jack Mitchell. Lordsbridge Girl over on the far side is staying on. Sandy Paradise is still there as well. Plenty of chances inside the final furlong. Always Fearless. The inform Asdar, Lordsbridge Girl, three across the track as they come towards the closing stages now. Lordsbridge Girl over on the far side. Asdar trying very hard, but Lordsbridge Girl's got a bit more and she wins. Beats Asdar into second. Always Fearless, always on the front end, has finished in third. Fourth horse home, Sandy Paradise.
A first win for the homebred Adday filly Lordsbridge Girl for owners Roger and Mrs. Susie Beadle. And she's been tough. It looked like Asdar was going to claim under strong pressure from Jack Mitchell, but under Jamie Spencer she's found more. Second over the course since two starts back. She's enjoyed the strong pace set by our third horse, Always Fearless, and at 10-1 Jamie Spencer rides a winner for William Knight. Cracking effort really under the £4 penalty from Asdar. He's been busy in recent weeks, provided Chai Johnson with his first winner, and it looked likely getting a toe into the race from Always Fearless. It was going to be a second winner 2023 for this horse, but the daughter of Adday, Lordsbridge Girl, switched to the inside, where quite a few of the winners yesterday came racing on that inside rail there. Certainly picked up on that bit of ground. And in a tight finish, this daughter of Adday had a couple of narrow seconds at the back end of 2022. She has found for pressure, which isn't always the case with some of the Addays. They have a lot of placed efforts, perhaps not as many wins as they should. She's come good for trainer William Knight and Jamie Spencer. And what was a really competitive Class 6 contest, Tom?
Lordsbridge Girl has done it well, hasn't she? Staying on very strongly. For a filly who's yet to win a race, I thought that was a fairly tenacious attitude she's shown in the closing stages under Jamie Spencer. To see off the inform Asdar, who had every chance from where he was, George, but couldn't quite finish it off.
No, I agree. I think the race set up really well for Jamie Spencer from stall 9. She actually ran a decent enough race last time after a long break, and wasn't drawn very well on that occasion, and meant she was probably slightly out of her ground to negate that draw. Jamie was able to sort of sit just in behind the leaders. Always Fearless went forward with Joe Levy, who had his first ride as a professional this evening, and you can see staying out wide early doors with Sandy Paradise from stall 10 and George Rook, and just gradually tacked over down the back straight.
Indeed, yeah, I have to say, I do think at this point it would be very much the no excuse camp for Asdar, trailing in that third spot. But Lordsbridge Girl just following him through in fourth, and Jamie Spencer's got her in a nice position as well.
Yeah, I think it was run at sort of an evenish gallop, and Joe Levy ensured that on Always Fearless. Interestingly, if you watch the head carriage of the horse in second now, first run for its due, Sandy Paradise, was really hanging right under pressure and gave George Rook a pretty hard time at the top of the straight, just trying to get this horse out and into daylight and to challenge, and you can just see him leaning right-handed, so I'm sure there's more to come from this horse so they can sort of sort that out.
Yeah, you'd hope so, wouldn't you? And yeah, first run for a while. But at this point, Adday on the far side, it takes a while for him to really get going, just as it did last time. But even after Jack administered a slap, it didn't really come that immediately, did it? And Lordsbridge girl just looked like she wanted it that little bit more on the far side.
Yeah, Jamie Spencer's body language always looked to have Jack Mitchell covered. Adday has been busy and hasn't run a bad race in defeat, and the front three finished on top of each other.
Yeah, they certainly did. I think it was a good run from Always Fearless, and definitely a nice performance in the saddle from Joe Levy.
Yeah, he's a young rider. He's had a handful of rides as an amateur. I think it was 18 rides. And he's got his professional licence. Actually, funny enough, I saw him yesterday. He came and had a lesson on the simulator. He's very tidy for a tall lad. And I'm sure we'd just be hoping to sort of get going a little bit through the winter months and ready for sort of next season on the turf.
Would he be as tall as you?
No, he's not quite that tall, but he's very tidy in the saddle, and he wants to really improve, so he's got a good mindset as such.
Yeah, just looked at the way that Stanley Paradise kept on for fourth. I thought that was a pretty nice effort, considering he was wide coming out the stalls, wide for most of the back straight, and then chivied off the bridle from some way from home, but just did keep going to his credit and probably needed the run.
I think he's the one to take out of it because he's so awkward, wanting to hang right hand down. You can see George Rook's really at pains to keep him straight and going forward, and it was a good run.
Thoughts on the run of River Wolf? Could never really quite get into it from his position, could he?
No, was just sort of a little bit further back the midfield, stayed on well, and I think he's a winner waiting to happen, but he just needs it to unfold in a certain fashion. He hasn't run for 50 days, so he might just be a little bit sharper for the run.
Yeah, and hopefully yet to see the best of the winner, Lordsbridge girl, who's pretty lightly raced, really. That was only her 7th start under rules and her 6th on the all-weather. 10-1 the winner. Jamie Spencer seemed to best effect for William Knight. Roger and Mrs. Susie Beadle, well done to them. Second was Adday, 11-10 on favourite. Third was Always Fearless, big run, 20-1. And the winning time was 1:40.37, 3.47 seconds above standard, just marginally slower than the previous race over a mile, won by Bawada. Let's get to James, who's got the winning trainer.
It's the first winner of 2023 for trainer William Knight as the homebred Lordsbridge girl gets the job done under Jamie Spencer, and she was tough, wasn't she?
She was. She really puts her head out there, and delighted for Roger and Susie who bred her. You know, they're big supporters of the game, and you know, it's really so pleased for them. But you know, nice to get off to a winner for the start of the season. So very happy.
Yeah, for your first runners of the year today. Looking forward to 2023. One of your horses that I really liked last year, Check It and Challenge. It was so impressive on the all-weather, and then the ground never really came right for him on occasion. But a cracking fourth at Ascot end of the season. When's he going to be back, and what's your kind of plans at the moment?
He's just come back in. He's had a nice breakout in the field. Plan is probably to go for the mile listed race at Ascot at the beginning of May. It's the Paradise Stakes, or used to be the Paradise Stakes, and then it's we'll probably have a look at the Prix-d'Espagne, I think, over at Longchamp at the end of May. So that would be, the plan. Obviously, he was a Group 3 winner over in France last year, and he ran third in the Wildenstein as well. So I think France is a good place for him, those flat tracks. So as long as he was to go and run well in that listed race, then that's probably the plan.
Well, you might get a bit better weather as regards to him wanting a bit of soft ground, but one that goes on any ground is it's ever so tough. Sebasco, what a cracking campaign he had, especially in all the top races, picking up loads of prize money, and he certainly very deserved his wins as well.
Yeah, he's been a star. He's a bit of a cash machine for the owners. I can't remember what it was, about 300,000 in prize money.
With a Juddmonte in particular, it was a cracking day behind Baid where he picked up the pieces, and you must be just so proud to have a horse like that keeps his form.
Totally, and look, he's a star, and he's in full. Well, he did his first piece of work this morning. Obviously, we gave him a break after Juddmonte, so he had a nice 6 weeks out in the field, and he is going to go for a mile listed race at Lingfield on, I think it's the 4th of February. To sort of blow the cobwebs away, and we're going to head out to Saudi, and he goes for either the Neon, or we have put him in the Saudi Cup, but he'll go for that and then hopefully Dubai World Cup night, and then comes back to England, and we have a nice campaign over here through the summer.
Well, lovely races to be able to target, get a nice bit of sun out there as well, but like I say, what a joy he is to your yard, and nice to get off a mark for 2023. Well done.
Yeah, delighted. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Thank you.